The term being busy doesn't actually exist with the things that you prioritize. There's nothing that you can be too busy for that you truly prioritize. Because being too busy for something is essentially just putting it to the side, putting it to the bottom. And if you catch this one thing, if you get one thing from this video, this will absolutely change your life. Because the reason why you're not where you truly say you want to be in your heart, whether that be overcoming lust, whether that be just living with peace, living with a peace of mind, a positive mindset, living healed, and having that relationship with God, just continuously putting him first in your life and becoming a man of your word. Where all of that comes from and stems from is having your priorities aligned. No matter how busy you are or busy, how many things you have to do, that's what I like to say, you can always find things that for the things that you truly are passionate about. And for the past few weeks, I've experienced this. I've been working a whole bunch, and so therefore it was hard for me to post. It's hard for me to post on YouTube. And so I'd have all of these excuses in my mind, like, oh, I'll do it this day, and then I make a video, and then I didn't really like the video, and so I deleted it and then said, oh, I'll just make another one tomorrow, and then it just kept getting pushed back. And this is what happens a lot of times with other things in our life. Anything that you truly prioritize, it's like you attempt to do it, and then you don't all the way commit all the way, and so therefore it never ends up happening. This can happen in your word. This can happen with pursuing something that you're truly passionate about. This could really be anything. And those decisions to not do what you truly prioritize or what you're truly passionate about make you do things that you're not passionate about and make you get stuck. And that's why the word says, the diligence will rule, while the slothful will work forced labor. Because the more diligent you are in the word, the more diligent you are with pursuing the things you're passionate about, getting in community instead of allowing the stresses of life to overtake you. You're diligent in the things that will actually move you forward into the person that God has put on your heart for you to be. That is when you'll start making progress in your life. That's when you'll start living a more purpose-driven life. And how do you get to that point? How can you get to the point where you start becoming a man of your word? You start working out when you say you actually said you were going to work out. You say you're going to start getting in community, but you don't know how. How do you actually start pursuing that? How do you get to the point where you're consistently pursuing your passions no matter what happens? Well, it's pretty simple, but it's hard. And it's by faith. That's why the word mentions faith so much, is because it's the root of all of our decisions. When you're overthinking to the point where it causes you to be frozen, stuck in place, and you don't take actual action, it's because of fear. It's because of lack of trust in God, lack of faith. Because if you truly believe that whatever God put on your heart will truly heal you, you would be quick to go take action. You would do anything you could to take action on the things that allow you to become the person that God has called you to be. But the reason why you don't is because you're lacking that faith. You're in a position where, oh God, well, I don't know where to find the community or I don't know how to pursue my passion. What exactly do I do? I don't know how to specifically open up the word and start to read it. I don't know how to do it. That's actually a sign that you saying I don't know how to do something is a deceptive way of saying that I'm not truly committed. Because a committed person says, I will do whatever it takes to find this. And when I was reading Proverbs chapter 2 the other day, it really opened my eyes to this and how God really wants us to seek. First off, we already know God wants us to seek by the way he was talking to the Pharisees when the Pharisees were asking him questions, and every single time he would say a parable. He would not tell them straight up ever. He would always say a parable, a story. They would have to figure out certain things. Even the disciples had to ask questions. But this verse specifically said it plain and simple. In Proverbs chapter 2, it says, seek for understanding like silver. Seek for wisdom like gold. And then you will understand what it means to fear the Lord. Now, you have to put this into perspective, because if you understand how hard it is to find gold, like people used to risk their life to find gold. Literally, like they would go in the caves and the cave might collapse on them. They might end up dying. And I'm pretty sure there's so much more hazards that goes into seeking for gold. But they were willing to do it because they knew the value in finding that gold. Now, what if I told you that, oh, there's a whole mountain of gold over there? All you have to do is just dig a little bit. You probably won't even risk your life digging for the gold. Like there's open areas where you can just go in and get the gold. What if I told you to that there was a mountain right in front of you? Would you go and dig for it? Or would you be like, oh well, I don't know specifically where the gold is. I don't even know where to start to dig, and so therefore I don't think I want the gold. No, you would do anything it takes to go just to at least look for it because you know that there's so much value within that mountain. Well, how much more with the word where it's accessible everywhere? You can literally find the Bible everywhere, and you're not persecuted yet when reading the word. So how much more should you be seeking for the word and seeking for wisdom, seeking for godly counsel, seeking for ways to overcome lust? You should be seeking with that with all of your heart, surrendering everything, because you have to see the value of not giving in to lust. You have to see the value of not procrastinating. You have to see the value of whatever you want to take action on. See the value of healing, getting in the right community, and different things like that. Whatever you say that you truly prioritize, if you're procrastinating, is because you don't have faith and you don't see the value. If you had faith in something that could absolutely change your life, then that's when you would take action on it. And that's when you will see the value in it. And the reason why you start to lose that faith, of course, you may take action. You might start digging for gold for a little bit. But because you don't feel like you're going in the right direction, what will happen? You will start to lose faith. And that's the thing. When you're digging for gold, especially realistically, like for the analogy that I made about the mountain full of gold, that's not usually what happened. That's not what they had happened back in the day, where people were seeking for gold, where they were digging caves. They didn't know if they're going to be able to find something. They were just digging with faith, and then they end up finding something. But I'm pretty sure there's people who didn't find any gold. There's people that probably just gave up when they were probably like really, really close to finding gold, and then they gave up. And the truth is 90% of people are just like that when it comes to their passions, when it comes to what God put on their heart, when it comes to building that true relationship with God and receiving their breakthrough with overcoming lust, is because they give up. And this literally sums up the verse, a righteous man falls 7 times while the wicked fall when calamity strike. Because the righteous keep getting up even though they don't find any gold. They don't see anything valuable for a long time, for the risk of something that's really, really valuable. The wicked fall when calamity strikes. When they fall, they start losing faith because they don't see anything valuable. They lose hope as soon as they don't see the value. And so you have to have unwavering faith in order for you to get through this walk with Christ, in order for you to endure to the end. Think about Joseph when he was thrown in a pit and he was sold into slavery for 13 years. He didn't lose faith. He had a dream. God had given him a specific dream. He was so excited about that. He literally told his father, he told his brothers, even though they envied him, he said, I'm going to rule over y'all with confidence. He said that with so much confidence. And he could have easily just thought that dream was just a coincidence. But no, he had faith in what God showed him. And God has shown you something in your heart. Are you going to be willing to put faith in that? Or are you going to put faith in yourself? Now I'm going to leave off with this verse, because if you really understand this last verse, I promise you, you will make significant progress in your life. And if you listen to this verse, you will definitely make significant progress. You can literally, any day that you feel like you are losing progress or you're not doing this specific verse, you should repeat it back to yourself so you can literally listen to it. And it says in James chapter 1, verse 5-8, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave blown and tossed by the sea. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He's a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. This is so important. And focus on this last part where God calls you double-minded. What does that mean? That means you go from trusting in God and then you trust in yourself. You make promises and then you convince yourself to not to not act on those promises anymore. You're not a man of your word. Say you want to stop lusting, but then you convince yourself that, oh, I just want to keep on lusting. The word says that man will not receive anything from God, and he is unstable in all his ways. He'll be unstable in his emotions. He'll be unstable in his relationships. He'll treat people one way one day, and then another day he'll treat them totally different. He'll be so motivated one day to maybe start a business. He'll be so motivated and happy one day. As soon as you don't see the vision, the light anymore, you lose faith. And so therefore, you start getting stressed, you start getting anxious, you start getting angry, you start getting envious. And then you'll be unstable with your focus. One week you'll be really focused. One week you'll really be locked in on maybe school, be locked in on work, locked in on a business. You'll be focused on your calling one week, but then the next week you're totally distracted because you're losing faith. Most importantly, you'll be unstable in your relationship with God. One week you'll be reading, you'll hear a good sermon. 3 days later you're with your friends, and then boom, you lose that fire, and then you don't want to go. Then you don't want to go to the word. You don't want to run to God. So remember this, to be single-minded. Make up right now who you want to be, who you want to become, who you want to be in your walk with Christ. I promise you, if you just focus on being single-minded, your life will completely change. That's why the word says in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6, that if you trust in the Lord with all your heart, all of your heart, lean not on your own understanding, meaning you're thinking about how I'm going to do this and how this is going to work. You just trust in God with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding him. Acknowledge him in all your ways. Pray. Ask God, is this the right direction? Seek his word. Seek wise counsel. Once you do all of these things, take action. Because in the end, clarity comes from consistent action. That's why the word says he will make your path straight. Because God will open up the doors, open up your eyes for what you need to do next once you take action, once you take consistent action and be single-minded. So make sure that you apply this to your life. I hope this video was a blessing to you. If you need that extra guidance, need that extra help, make sure that you're clicking the link down below to book a call with me. Join Refined Mindset, because I help people with this all the time. Help people overcome lust and be single-minded all the time. Do presentations each and every week, work with my clients one-on-one. So yes, make sure if you need that extra guidance, make sure you book a call with me. Only for serious people though. If you need that extra guidance yet, you're not ready to join the program yet, just send me a DM for maybe even questions. But appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate all the support. If you want to support, link is down below. If not, till next time, as usual, y'all stay blessed.